The side quests of Zoink.
Zoink is the most accomplished top player in Geometry Dash history. He holds the record for the
Dude, I always love seeing a video right past the 8-minute mark. Dude, that's how you know the creator's getting their fucking money up, man.
most verified top 1 levels by a landslide, with 4 compared to Sunix's 2, among many other high-level playing achievements, in his stretch as the #1 player. With all of that skill, naturally you'll begin to run out of regular list demons that are intriguing.
Bro, he's been completing shit left and right recently. I saw a Twitter post saying that he completed a top 60 in 1.6 thousand attempts. Are we fucking for real? And he just did a reskinned, God, what's the level name? Regardless, he's been doing fucking everything. He's gonna have more levels on the list than that he doesn't.
And so he'd end up completing many side quest levels throughout his career. These are all of Zoink's side quests.
It's probably more. When was this? Months ago? He's probably had like 5 since.
The first side quest level he took was the former impossible level Through the Gates. Through the Gates was initially hacked by Exen all the way back in 2018.
Isn't this his favorite level, or am I tripping?
At a time where nobody could have ever hoped to legitimately
Probably
beat
not.
it. In a way, it feels like a spiritual successor to Thinking Space, with the very end of the level carrying almost all of its difficulty.
Probably not.
When players improved over a few years' time and the hardest demon was now Acheron, people began to give TTG a real go. The impossible level player, Septagon 7, was the main figure pushing the level forward, and he'd brought the record from 38% all the way to 93% in the time he'd been grinding the level. But naturally, with it being an open verification, more eyes were brought upon the level, and that is where Zoink comes
in. This is a very interesting one. I've never seen this before.
He got bored and picked the level up, and within 3 days already had a new world record of 96%. And then just 1 day later, he'd verify the level.
Dude, can you imagine? You put your heart and soul into a level. You put your heart and soul into a level. And after a month, you finally get a world where you get your record on it. Let's say 40%. And within 3 days of Zoink playing your level, the level you were verifying, the level you had a record on, he's already beaten that. He's beaten that shit. And then he verifies it. All that time you spent, gone. It's gone.
First, there was
forever.
Some controversy over sniping Septa when he pushed the level so far,
exactly.
But it was always an open verification that anybody could play at any time. Septa himself had no ill will towards Zoink, even congratulating him on the verification. When the dust settled, it was exciting that a new top 20 level had been verified, until Rob just didn't rate it. It definitely had some poorly aged parts, but for what it was, a lot of people thought it at least deserved a star rating.
Who could have guessed? Rob Top not rating a level.
There was always demand for it throughout the years, but it was left dormant until a very special event in the game's history. There were about to officially be 10,000 rated demons, and Rob Top wanted to do something big for it. And as such, the rated demons for numbers 9,996 to 10,000 were all highly demanded levels the community wanted rated for years. And so, Through the Gates would finally receive a rating as part of this event.
Oh, that's why I recognize the name. Okay. Yeah, Death Corridor Z, Through the Gates, and then there was
alongside Death Corridor Z, Message to Rob Top,
and then the really easy insane, right?
Denouement, and Korn. As of the making of this video, Through the Gates is set to place in the main list. Everybody knows Yatagarasu. It's one of the most noteworthy former top
this is the level I'm working on right now.
Levels, and had a long struggle to be verified, which
not the unnerfed version
culminated in Trusta nerfing the level. The nerfed version would stay in and around the top 1 spot, whilst the unnerfed remained a big what if, with the true unnerfed version from when it was first finalized being far, far harder than any of the versions Trusta actually played on. Just look at CSX42's part. Nobody was doing this back in 2017. It was just a piece of the history of Yatagarasu.
Oh yeah, that is way
fell
harder.
By the wayside. Less than 2 weeks after Through the Gates, Zoink would decide to give it a go. The first progress he got was 77, dying to Lugia's part. Just 3 days later, he'd passed CSX and choked to Funny Game's part. CSX is the hardest part in this version, so throwing past it was a major fumble. The struggle did not end there either, as he'd go on to get 95 as well. At this point, he'd racked up 50 deaths to CSX alone, and it was maybe seeming like a side quest gone wrong. As you'd expect though, it didn't take too much longer to verify the level, as he'd finally complete it 2 days after the 95 fail. Verifying Unnerfed Yata is the true definition of a side quest.
Peak level, by the way. Favorite level. It's awesome.
It's just a neat piece of history that can never get rated and placed onto the list, so it was all just cause why not. The next
Yeah, this ended up getting rated, didn't it?
side quest level was one of the most iconic former Impossible levels in Ashley Wave Trials. It had long been a popular level, with its original character gripping community conscience from the moment people started uploading world records on the level. The most notable of which being Watch Piggy, who got hundreds of thousands of views on each world record he achieved. Clearly there was a ton of demand for the level to be verified, and it ended up in the hands of Zoink.
And then Zoink just fucking beats up.
His first progress upload was 65, on an updated version of the level that was meant to be possible. This came all in the middle of the Nullscapes verification. Bro just casually did a world record while also verifying a top 2. Ultimately, Nullscapes would take precedence, and no more Ashley progress would come up until after that was wrapped up. But when it did, he came back strong with 83. This was really close to the end of the level where it slows down. If he could get there, it'd probably be over then and there. After getting 89 twice, he'd make it to the end and finally verify the level. The video went on to rack up over 1.7 million views as people got excited this actually happened. It was set to place somewhere in the top 15 once rated, but there was a problem. It was verified with CBF. At this point in time back in 2024, it was uncertain CBF would ever receive official support, and all CBF verifications were not to be rated. This would cause the level to remain stuck on the unrated demon list for over a year. But recently a revelation changed everything for the level. RobTop added his own official CBF with the 2.208 update, and as such CBF was now officially supported. Immediately mods began sending Ashley Wave Trials, and on January 29th, it finally got a featured rating, and is now set to place on the demon list on March 1st. It'll certainly be interesting to see where it ends up and who decides to go for it.
I think I tried it. I don't think I got past the 1%.
The next level is both one of the best and worst list demons depending on who you talk to, the level in question being Quantus Processing. It's quite clearly a joke remake of Quantum Processing that takes everything about that level and makes it as ridiculous as possible. It doesn't even look like a level that would be playable, but evidently it is at least playable enough for Zoink. This level was never meant to be a serious thing, but he picked it up anyway, first posting a progress video of 75%. In that, you can see all of the spam and purposely awkward timings all throughout the level. He was on a grind to try and ensure the level is done before New Year's 2025, and was able to just barely make it on December 31st.
Yo, this background music's fucking
would have undoubtedly been a new top 5 if rated right then and there, but it had to wait quite a while. The level is on the border of what most people would consider as rate-worthy or not, and that caused it to remain the hardest unrated demon for quite some time. Eventually, RobTop would end up coming to one of Zoink's streams, and there was only one thing to do.
Rated for real, God. He rated it on God.
He did it! He rated it! He rated it!
What?
He rated it! He rated it! He rated it!
No, cap.
He did! Here's the
Okay, go on.
Oh my god! He died! Oh my god!
Quantus Pro.
Oh, you should imagine just having fucking a RobTop up in your chat rating Quantities or what is it? Is it called Quantus? Is that it? Insane.
Okay, go on.
Comfortably sits at the number 6 spot on the list, and as of now has 0 victors. Whoever gets first victor on this will immediately gain aura. This brings us to our last level, Exasperation.
This level is... I can't believe. I genuinely can't believe it. This level is fucking insane.
Exasperation initially...
Not, like, the gameplay's, yeah, crazy, but it's the music, bro. How can you play with that?
gained fame for being a very unconventional Impossible layout, which was only amplified further when C1997 made his infamous rant video on the level. For as popular as it was definitely out of reach for players back then, as it likely would still be a top 1 even now. But the level never truly died out. Zoink would end up picking it up and getting 67 to 100 as a new world record run to 100. Even in this run, you can see why nobody had seriously attempted Exasperation before. But this wasn't the only progress he would make. He'd start streaming the level almost every day, playing from zero, trying to push the envelope of what was possible. This ended up culminating in getting the level in 2 connected runs with a new best of 67.
This just looks fucking insane.
Although he probably could have kept going and verified the level, he's decided to wait for the decorated version to be finished before doing that, and that's where things stand today. Hopefully it won't be too long until we get to see this pick back up, as it would be one of the most interesting top levels the game has ever seen.
Interesting. That's a pretty good video. And it honestly, it warms my heart to see that it's 8 minutes long. But get your fucking money up. Hypo? Get your money up, bro. That's heat.